Intro. Okay, we're watching. What are we watching? Hide and Seek, which is more about Picard's family and some Borgified cops or
No,
mercenaries.
ex-military.
Okay, Borgified ex-military, and then we're gonna hang out with Q for a while and chill out. And then the stream's up, right? Yes. Okay, good. And then we're gonna start season 3 and meet Captain Shaw, Captain Liam Shaw. He's all right.
Decent guy.
I can really understand where he's coming from. It would be absolutely infuriating to hang out with any of the main crew from TNG. All kinds of weird sci-fi shenanigans keep happening around them.
I
Yeah,
would.
and they kind of just boss their way around the place.
What would you, Robo? What?
My favorite part of Captain Shaw was the part where he dies. No, just kidding.
Keep. I don't remember what he says when he
No
dies.
spoilers.
Oh, what do you mean? You should have seen this show by now.
Yeah.
And we're also going to spend a lot of time with
charge of
Annika
a ship.
Hansen.
Make her a captain even though she's not in Starfleet.
Yes, she
Just
is.
straight to captain. She's not in Starfleet.
She is in Starfleet in season 3.
She was what you call it? She was
got
a
enrolled
Fenris
in-
Ranger.
Yeah, she was, but then she was off screen for a while, and then now she's in Starfleet.
Also, she had.
Then she went straight to captain, huh?
She did
Oh.
not. That's sort of a
Yeah,
plot
she did
point
not go
for the
straight to
season.
captain.
Christopher
Oh
Pike,
wait, in season
Christopher
3, yeah,
Pike-
she's a first officer, right? Or
Yes.
something.
Chris Pine does the same thing. He becomes first officer, cadet, captain in 2009.
Cadet to
So-
first officer
so
to
Seven
captain.
had 7 years. Well, 5 years.
Well, that's the
of
JJ verse.
experience.
You know, once
I mean,
the
That's a
it's
different-
it was
that's a different universe.
situation.
once the USS Kelvin was destroyed, they just threw all the graduation requirements out. They just mixed up all the ranks. It's all good. Captain in the JJ verse is really equivalent to like a lieutenant junior grade.
I mean,
Well, it's a crisis, you know. There's some
Yeah.
existential threat, so they needed all the warm bodies they could.
I was
So-
gonna say during COVID, because it was a public health emergency, they were gonna graduate all med school students 5 years in instead of 6 years. You're just a doctor now.
Congratulations!
Please
Don't
do
worry
not
about that.
resist.
Don't worry about the last year of med school. You weren't gonna learn anything important.
I'm gonna
anyway.
worry about it.
Well, I'm
Actually,
thinking
no, I don't
cadet
need to
role.
worry about it because there's no such thing as doctors. No, it's all good. What do
True.
I care?
Doctors are a myth.
Well, AI is gonna be better at catching everything than human doctors. So. Doctors are obsolete.
Sure, bud.
Yeah, for sure.
Look, as long as
Definitely.
it's an EMH level AI, yes, I'm on board. EMH is a good AI. Also, Aphid, this is very important. Aphid is currently napping on the bed behind me because we just got back from a walk, which is also why I was
Aw.
just a couple minutes late. I timed it nearly perfectly, but it's very close.
How's she finding walks?
She hates walks. She hates. She doesn't even care about her harness really, because if I just put her harness on and leave her in the house, then she's totally fine. But she knows harness means walk, and no. Resistance is futile for her though. She's going to go whether she likes it or not.
Oh, so this is you found the one dog that doesn't like walks?
Yes.
How'd you do that?
I don't know, man. Which would be great for me because I'm pretty low energy and I could go for a low energy dog, but she's not low energy. She just doesn't like the outside.
So what you need is a treadmill.
What
You
I
need a backyard.
I have a yard. It's not super
Backyard
big.
is still
also,
outside.
I have a play button in 5, 4, 3, 2, plays from 0, 1. Play. I forgot about the skip
Mhm.
forward. Don't worry
Yeah.
about it. It's fine.
You forgot about the timer.
Yeah, the timer.
Hang on. It's fine. Everything's fine. Oh, hi guys. Yeah, life is much
So
more disorganized for me now that I have a mammal to take care of.
it was your decision.
I know. I'm not
You
saying I
you
regret the
you
decision. I'm very happy with my
you
decision.
rearranged a large portion of your life in order to accommodate adding a small mammal to it.
She's a good mammal, even though she was okay. On the walk, there's a bunch of other dogs. On the way in, she was great and nice and calm and friendly with the dogs. On the way out, she was like jumping at them, wanting to play really aggressively. It's like, what is your deal?
And also, what are you feeding her
Wet food.
to make her so gassy?
She gets, I don't even know what brand I'm giving her. I just grabbed a wet food and gave it to her. It's all fine. Yeah, hit him with the car. Do it. Is the appropriate means to dispose of them? Was that the car? God, the Borg are so bad at their job. It would be so easy to assimilate Earth.
Yep.
Of making a TikTok dance,
Next season is
right?
literally all about the cool kids are being assimilated by the Borg. Why don't you get assimilated
Right.
by the Borg? Here's another weird thing about this dog. She doesn't like bones.
Hmm.
Where did you find a dog that's a cat?
Also, I already told Robo this. Yesterday, she jumped through a window screen 4 feet in the air and
Jeez.
got trapped outside for a bit. I don't open the windows for her anymore. What? These are Borg drones using guns? What kind of Borg are these? The only Borg
Primitive
I've ever
Borg.
seen use a
Green, like-
gun was the Borg from Descent in TNG, the Lore's Borg, and they were like disruptors. Oh my god, they're eating her. Agnes, what was wrong with your dress? Did you really. Why? I guess it's a little too flowy, but like, did you have to get the metal suit? Could you have gotten like a sweater?
And she just likes the design.
Oh, I should turn on subtitles. Those are good. Ah, a gun. I think that's a. Is that a Jat Vash disruptor rifle? There's like 6. It's fine. Oh, this is the intro to Legacy of the Void. All the warping in the soldiers.
Hmm.
So how about that weather?
Very sunny. Well, sort of sunny. It's cloudy now.
Soma, you said something, but you like went to a
Sorry.
different room to do so.
it it has been sunny, but it's now very cloudy.
Nice.
Sunny, breezy. Beautiful days.
Beautiful
Like a little
cover
too windy.
girl.
Yeah, a little too breezy today. I think I read like there was wind damage in like central New York where I do not live. But I'm enjoying the breeze.
I definitely do not live at 421 East Street, New York City.
Why the wind was damaged there?
No, it's just the way you phrase that sounded like you were saying, no, I don't live there. That's crazy. Why would you think I live there? I'm not doxing myself.
No, it's always like when you live downstate and you hear about like terrible snowstorms upstate and you had like the lightest flurries. And it's like somebody else is buried in snow right now.
Well, that's what they get for living there.
Yeah.
It's a them problem.
How are those wildfires?
None where I live, actually. It doesn't burn here.
Good.
Heard anything about the wildfires for a while, so
It's pretty chill. Okay, here's another dog thing. Stand by. I'm going to put a dog there. And then put a dog there. So this is what she's currently doing. She's on the bed and there's a table pressed up against the bed with my big TV on it. She's, for some reason, like tucking her face into that corner. I don't get it.
just a little doofus.
You you bought a dog, brain cells sold separately.
She's not dumb. She learns things pretty quickly, but she is very independent. Which I expected because she's a terrier, and terriers are just like that.
I told you, you bought dog hardware with cat software.
Well,
And a fart machine.
Agnes, you need to combine all the best pieces, Agnes, not just some of them. The Borg Queen just swore on my Star Trek. She can't do that. You really need to turn on push to talk.
I flipped my microphone up.
Oh, it didn't work. Agnes, that's illegal. Just screamed like random letters and numbers at the computer. You don't need to remember it. It's fine. Just smash the keyboard to put in a password, and you're good.
We get Elnor kicking ass.
Why? Why is Elnor the hologram? Other than the actor needs to get paid?
Because she decided to just use him as the hologram because it can make it from anyone.
There's no reason, Ryan, other than they had contractual obligations to appear in a certain number of episodes, and so this is how they did it.
It was like the ship is already loaded with a bunch of different holograms. That was the defining feature of it.
I don't think Rios
not
had
this
the.
version of the ship?
I don't think Rios had the breakdancing moves to be ECH.
But this isn't actually Elnor. This is just a hologram. He doesn't need training. It's a hologram.
See, the actor could probably do the stunts a little better.
They already
Okay,
had
guys.
Rios in episodes. They didn't need to put him in more episodes.
No, he was the engineering hologram, the medical hologram, the the command hologram. So someone else could be the combat hologram.
What is the point of that cup? That's like one sip of a drink. Pointless.
Plus, I'm starting to feel lower back pain, so I do think Rios is too old to do the stunt moves.
I think I don't know the actor's name. I think Cristobal over here probably works out more than any of us. I think he's good.
True. Are we gonna call Dad evil now, or are we just gonna keep let him gaslighting? The
He's
mother
Gaslighting
and-
not
hose.
gaslighting.
Okay.
He's just trying to be encouraging. That's not the same thing.
Oh, Mama is mother. I thought it was grandmother.
Yeah.
Because he calls the old lady with
Yes,
the
of course.
teapot.
Yes, no, my mom is
Because the old lady with the teapot was his mother.
No,
Yes.
that was his grandma.
No.
I
No.
really
That's your
think it
head
was his
canon
mom.
too. That's your head canon to explain why his mother died young as a child in Picard.
I
Which
mean,
is
I don't know.
never.
I don't know any
never,
French, so my mom could be.
It's actually
dad,
hang on.
so-
I'm you're triggering a memory. In either at the end of this episode, probably in the next episode though, Picard is going to have a conversation about like, oh yes, I once imagined having a tea party with her on the Enterprise,
Yeah.
and I imagined her as she would have been.
Yes.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
my mom
Raph.
is mother. They say it a lot in Expedition 33.
I would like to play
I didn't
Expedition 33, but I have Oblivion to finish, which is going to be the next year.
Expedition 33 is so good.
Good. He only needs one arm to fire a gun. He's fine. Don't worry about it.
So I want to say I really do like, because we have so many time travel episodes and nobody's ever like, okay, I'm gonna fall in love with the past. Well, I think Jim Kirk might have, but we don't see him actually give up the Enterprise. Gillian Anderson comes with us in Star Trek 4 with the whales.
So we should shove this woman and her child in front of a bus to get Rios back to the future.
Or we should drown them in a whale tank, but yeah. Like, if you just settle down, you find like a nice like housewife material, then you just don't have an impact in the future timeline.
There we go.
Somatically
I was
detached.
about to complain that the Borg using those laser things was completely giving away their position. What's the point? It's a bad plan. No, stop it. Turn them off. Oh, they're not even the eyepieces. They're just gun laser sights. Still, giving yourself away. I don't know if that's useful.
Yeah, they should have made it eyepieces, but I guess they didn't have the budget.
Well, it's because these aren't really fully assimilated. They're only partially assimilated. So they use the laser
Yeah.
sight to evoke
Yeah.
the
Right.
Borg.
Right. For us as an audience, it screams Borg. Because we watch Voyager that many times.
Brent, how can you be this dumb? They're evil cyborgs.
I mean, he spent years of his life trying to keep alive someone who doesn't even exist.
And now... Wait, what?
I mean, well, she's not a real
What do you
person.
mean she doesn't exist?
She's she's completely manufactured from stuff.
Clones don't have rights, is what I'm hearing.
It depends. But the way he was doing it was definitely unethical, so...
I was going to say, in Enterprise, we already see the plan. The Borg are like, hey, come take over this stupid planet in the middle of nowhere.
Title drop. God, what do we even do here? We can't, like, call the cops on them, I assume.
No, it doesn't need to see the ship.
We could then betray the cops.
The cops, their lives don't matter.
So did you just say blue lives don't matter?
Yes.
Hmm. I'm getting progressively more ACAB as I get older.
This is like a stealth section in a video game.
Yeah, it's
But
very
they're
haunted
not
house.
even crouching.
Robot, I heard
It
you,
doesn't
robot.
count as stealth if you're not crouching. That's why they got caught right
Oh.
now.
You know what that means, a review.
Yes,
I
stab
find it
him.
interesting how time travel episodes of, well, just about anything, have people die and it just goes, oh yeah, those people that died in this show, yeah, their lives didn't have any impact on the course of history whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, screw him.
There's the thing, even like Rios's kid could wind up being, Hitler, well, whatever, sing.
Don't worry, all we have to say is that Rios and his new family die in World War III next year.
Okay, they're just cannon fodder.
They do actually look up what happens to Rios.
Yeah, but I don't remember what it was. Something about, like, a charity.
I mean, you got to give it to DS9 though.
Give what to DS9?
For hats off, because the Bell riots was that they accidentally watched Graham Bell be killed by
Did you just say Graham Bell?
not Alexander Graham
Alexander Graham Bell?
Bell and Mr. Watson. But what was Bell's name?
Gabriel Bell.
Gabriel Bell, thank you. So Gabriel Bell was killed by the rabble, and then that's why Cisco has to fill in for him.
Yeah, that episode used death well.
What? Who? I need a house with a secret passageway. Secret tunnels. For storage.
Mhm.
Oh, that mechanism's gonna be, like, completely rusted through. It's just been sitting there for 200 years. Like,
Yeah.
Hold on. Stop.
100 years.
Stop. He used it as a child in the future, so it was working in the future. It must be working in the past.
No, they've even fixed up a
Well,
mechanism though. They fixed up the house.
It's also made of wood, not metal, so it wouldn't rust.
The mechanism would have to be metal.
Could be wooden gears.
Who makes wooden gears? Who does that?
This house is from like the 1700s.
Yeah, they still use metal gears.
Okay. Did you guys take French class in school?
It wasn't even offered at my school.
Mm.
I could choose between German and Spanish.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. What about you,
So
Simon?
now
I
schools
assume-
are offering Navajo, which is neat.
I assume French is like required somewhat in English schools. across the channel.
So, are you required to learn the language of your mortal enemies? Know your enemy to understand them.
The French?
True.
Yeah.
Oh well, we do have
They
French
fought for like 7 or
lessons
8
in
years.
school. Yeah, there was a long period where we were animosity with the French.
On the other
Until
hand,
until they fought together against the Germans.
well, and on the other hand, they gave you civilization. So
Well, actually, more specifically, until the French Revolution, and then
I'm
we-
sorry,
Then they got
you're-
France too,
you're
and it doesn't count
confusing-
anymore.
You're confusing the French with the Romans that brought civilization to Britain.
yeah,
What have the
just,
Romans
like,
ever done for
stayed
us?
for like the Romans stayed for a day and then they went back to like kill all the gods.
Stay for a day. Yeah, they built Hadrian's Wall in a day.
Hadrian, but yeah, it was the limit of their empire. They weren't terribly interested in the backwater. The French
Well,
taught them
they-
how to eat with forks and knives. So
Did you notice
They
that
didn't
Ralphie
like
was
the-
like cuddling Seven there?
yeah,
I get the
They were-
feeling she might still be into Seven.
when they were driving, they were very like married couple. Like, you know, you're never gonna navigate again. You know, I hate the way you drive.
Ralphie, how did you not know she was Borg? Didn't you see her with the Borg implants last season?
she does know that she's bored.
But she just said, "What? You were Borg?"
At the start of the season, she said no implants or something like that.
Yeah, when they were in the taking the photograph, it's just people are nice to me in this century. So people are usually mean to me because I have the mark of being a Borg. But I think she must have been sarcastic or sardonic or something. Um,
I see why these guys
Wow.
are ex-military. It's because none of them could hit anything. Just got kicked out. It was a very emotional hologram.
mhm.
I guess that just emotional packages come standard in the future. No,
I think,
Elnor, definitely
like-
take the gun.
You know the AI meta
Elmore,
is trying to
please.
sell me on. It has to be like a personality, and the thing it figured out for me was like some kind of punk fashion designer that I have to talk to. I just said yeah, but I think the same way. So like one Rios hologram was like very erudite, and the other Rios hologram was like a comic caricature of a Spanish speaking person. So the same way, this Elnor must have like a quirky personality because it just works better that way. I once lived in a ranch house that was built in the 60s, and
Did it
you
have
know,
secret tunnels?
no, but you could see the
Worthless.
quirky 60s architecture, like the dimensions. But the most annoying part was each of the electrical outlets, they were all 2 prongs. It didn't have the 3 prongs for the ground that you need for like
Mm.
AC appliances.
Point of
computer.
contention: how does she know how to use the tricorder?
She
I think she.
don't worry about it. She hasn't done anything with
Ouch.
it yet.
Ooh, he got shot good.
Ah, it just shows a nice little picture of a skeleton.
Are you mispronouncing words today on purpose, Ryan? Or do you always do that?
I don't. Why would you think that? That's crazy.
Because you know what I heard? Meme engines, they do that on purpose. Like obviously the the AI voice sometimes, like, I saw one AI voice, instead of de-escalate for my job training, it said de-escalate. I said, come on. Like, it's not Spanish.
Brent, just like blow up the house. Come on. Do we have enough explosives for that? Can we just start throwing grenades?
It's kind of cool though because
There's one, speaking of pronunciation, there's one Canadian YouTuber I watch. And one thing, usually I can't tell the difference between American and Canadian accents, but with her specifically, the word them, she always 100% of the time says them. And I don't like it. It's weird.
I say them, yeah. So that's a Canadian
It's
thing.
them or them depending on context. It's not them always. Like you
Yeah,
can say, give it to them. That's fine.
I had a coworker from Chicago. The first time she said the word box, it said back. She said backs, and I was like, "Where?" And everybody else, because we're all
Backs.
from New York, it was like, "Where are you from?" But yeah, their vowels are all Scandinavian up there. So
I don't even know if it's a Canadian thing or if that's just her.
like we all say Minnesota, and I had a partner Minnesota. You just kind of like Norwegian it up there a little bit.
Maman, this is a weird conversation to be having with your child.
I just call them moose people. I don't get this thing. What is that? A pillory? Like, are we whipping people?
I think that's where you chain your prisoners.
Yeah, for whipping. Basically, it's called a pillory.
I think it's a cover over an old well.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
I'm in a different era.
Let the child fall down the well. Oh, this is probably the conversation where we go back to TNG.
Uh-huh. So, growing up was not a tea party. But
Help me,
Mao
Jean-Luc
Zedong.
Picard, you're my only hope.
Mao Zedong said a revolution is not a tea party. So I just think it's really interesting. He had a traumatic childhood. And the only thing we get in TNG is she grew to a ripe old age drinking hot Earl Grey.
Did they not have adult protective services in the future? I feel like there was a better solution than locking her in a room. Maybe it wasn't a permanent solution. Maybe he only locked her in there for like 30 minutes while he was trying to call for help.
I hate to make a morbid joke, but it seems like that is how adult protective services and child protective services works these days, or been that way for a long time. Everybody just falls through the cracks.
Look, no person, no problem. You know.
Yeah, something like that, right?
Yeah.
What? Baby's been starving for 4 months? I don't know how we missed that.
I don't think a baby could starve for 4 months. I think a baby could starve for like 5 days tops.
Yeah. Anyway, it's just very upsetting. I mean, it's a hard job.
Would those guns even work on this hologram? He's not really here.
Probably less. Probably let's
Photons and
Google
force
this.
fields.
How long can a baby go without food?
Probably not very long. It has
understand your
nothing
point.
to
Thank
draw
you.
on.
How long? All right, so now they're saying every 2 to 3 hours. I don't think they understand what I mean. How long can a baby go without food before dying? Oh, it auto completed it.
It's giving you the nursing mother
2 to
question,
3 days. 2 to 3 days.
not the abusive parent answer. But they should be shooting at the walls because that's where the hollow emitters would be. So I agree with you, Ryan.
Maybe we can just like destroy Elnor. Okay, self-destruct.
Why did he
That's what we do. Self-destruct the ship.
He when he closed his eyes.
Yeah.
Why does he have so much eyeliner?
Rippled.
He doesn't have eyeliner. He's just a Romulan. That's just what they look
He's
like.
Romulan. Look.
He looked like Michael Jackson.
It's so funny. I think like
he has so much less than Spock did.
Our vice president just naturally has raccoon eyes. So some people just.
Yeah, I think that is eyeliner.
Some people are just glamorous when they're born.
I
would
told
not
you it's
describe him as
eyeliner.
glamorous.
I don't think Star Trek understands like the grief process. To just talk to like a hologram of a dead person kind of throws a wrench into the fact that you need to understand they're gone and they're never coming back.
In the not
And
too
you don't
distant
get
future, you'll be able to make AI representations of your family members.
that's not healthy.
And then when they die, you can just keep talking to them. You could probably do that now if you feed enough information.
Did you
to
ever
it.
see? Yeah, did you ever see Westworld? Come on, you just gotta.
I did not.
I did.
Oh, you should watch Westworld.
I have it
Watch
available to
the
me.
first season. Watch the first season, and then maybe watch the second season. But after that, don't bother.
I'm busy, man. I can't even. I'm falling
He has a
so
dog
far
now.
behind on media. Don't
He
have
has a dog
time.
now.
Oh,
Ooh.
this is the same. That's a reference to the same episode where Maman was introduced. I'm gonna count that as a reference. With the woman who phased halfway through a floor.
Yeah.
I want it
Very
to
good
be a
use of the
ballerina.
transporter, though. I really appreciate that. You could have just left them dematerialized, but I guess maybe the queen could have rematerialized them if she got control.
So did Picard's dad have to like exhume those people out of the walls? Maybe that's why his mom.
Probably by that point they were, they would have just been skeletons for sure.
Petrified skeletons.
At modern fight scenes is the amount of cuts. The fight choreography there was actually reasonable, but they had so many cuts.
Yeah, good observation, Soma. Because
No, Seven, don't just do it. Just shoot her. Shoot her, you fool.
like Game of Thrones really elevated how television shows have to have their sword fights, because like the long takes are so unique. Like most movies wouldn't even have those long takes. So there's no excuse. I agree with you, Soma. Like
There's no excuse
fewer
for
cuts.
Seven not pulling the trigger with like 5 or 6 seconds warning before she got stabbed.
Mhm, 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 mhm.
Seven, what are you doing?
You know what though? So in her defense, she was assimilated, so she might think twice because like the Borg Queen's in her head a little bit. Wow, Rafi just lost her homeboy, and she's about to lose her homegirl, and that's gonna be no more Rafi.
Worthless Ruffy.
Do you have a best friend, Ryan?
My best friend is Aphid.
Do you? But you don't have a single person that you consider a best friend for many years.
Don't worry about that.
Okay. I've just been.
Are
a little
you
bit out of
asking
touch
me
with
if I
them.
would shoot them if they were assimilated?
I think that's
yes,
where
I
I'm going
would.
with it. I think that's where I'm going with it because I haven't spoken to my best friend in like 2 years, but he also has like a really busy, 6-figure job. But
If someone gets assimilated, you kill them.
yeah, yeah.
It's like if someone gets a zombie bite, you shoot them.
Yeah, if you love them, you should blow their head off. Yeah.
Unless they're Ellie.
Yeah.
Yes,
unless they're immune.
Yeah, unless they're Picard or Seven. But other than that, no one has ever come back from the Borg Collective.
except
you
for
talking about?
everybody in the Borg Reclamation Project.
Right. Except tons of people.
Well, it's funny. I was watching
Milana
Voyager-
Torres,
Voyager
Catherine Janeway,
in
Tuvok,
God, that was such a stupid plotline. Why would they do that?
all the children.
In Voyager, well, each have, right? But yeah, in Voyager, they say though, Seven's the first person to come back, the only person to come back from the Borg. But I was like, they totally forgot about Locutus. But wow, Seven's doing good acting.
I'm surprised she's still even conscious. That was
Yeah,
a real
should
deep
be-
wound. She got
you should-
completely impaled.
You should be having
Massive
seizure at
blood
this point.
loss.
blood loss, low blood pressure, and seizure because you're suffering the blood loss. You're unconsciously seizing up. See, This is good writing. I love how Girardi converts the Borg Queen here.
So it's destiny that the Borg always lose. No, actually, you can be sad for it. Well, no, I guess you can only be sad for like 80 or 90 years. Technically, she's correct. A bestie.
So they say resistance is futile, but they know that they lose in every single timeline. I mean, you guys are like the ultimate losers. Like, you just lose.
They did win in the timeline where
True,
Riker had
true.
his long, scraggly beard and was begging not to
Yeah.
be sent back. Worked out great there.
True. There is one timeline.
They're just
But
all
even
trying to
then-
create that universe.
We we blow we blow up the Enterprise, so maybe they lose after that somehow.
Brent, are you
Maybe
quoting
they-
the Queen?
Maybe they still lose. Like maybe Riker was the only thing keeping the Federation back. But he does say we're one of the only ships left. So, it's like in chess when you only have like 2 pieces left and the other person has 5. Probably not coming out of it.
This version of the Borg that she's proposing sounds like Davy Jones from Pirates of the Caribbean version, where he just shows up at shipwrecks and just recruits people who are dying.
This is strength, not weakness.
But can use the power of friendship. Yeah, she was all right. Seven didn't
don't
even
think we
really
have-
do anything while she was a Borg.
I don't think we ever
Yeah.
get an.
Didn't she help assimilate entire civilizations?
Yeah, they all do that.
No, she was instrumental though. But
She's part of the hive mind.
I don't think we get another Star Trek scene where like someone's dying for 10 minutes on the floor and we don't do we're just talking while they're like stretching out their hand.
I'm going to assume this scene here is flashing back in time a little bit. And like they're not just sitting there with their guns pointed at Picard for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Fighting really hard for
As
this
a
guy you met
cop-out.
last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, he did
Maybe you haven't met single mothers.
look.
Rude.
Whoa.
Towards
Okay.
single mothers. What's your problem?
Maybe it's such a messed up era that like somebody who comes in without all the anti-immigration sentiment is like a plus.
Okay, so no, they were just holding their guns on Picard for a while. He's just sitting there.
Yeah.
Picard, can you go pick up the gun? Do you want to help? No? That's cool. Seriously, he's not helping at all. He's just standing in the back. I suspect that even time travelers are vulnerable to the Colt 45.
For me to fall in love with someone from 400 years ago, I don't think it'll work. Like you barely know about the new world.
Yeah, they're just gonna shrug off that explosion like that.
Don't
Just-
worry about it.
That
Don't worry, the
explosion that
explosion
didn't
was
happen,
only
it was
CGI.
100% After Effects.
I mean, it did provide enough distraction for Sun to get away.
The cost was exactly the same prosthetics she had before the season.
Before, yeah.
I think lore and data merge the same way. Girardi and the Borg Queen.
Something new. We're becoming something.
She has become one with the Borg.
The whole Queen aspect doesn't make sense either because the Borg were always like a hive mind, so there's no way.
Yeah, blame First Contact.
Yeah. Because if she does have a personality,
TNG
then you
giveth,
can.
TNG taketh away.
And then Voyager totally ran with it because like they were straight up like doing charm offensives on the Borg Queen to as they did in this season. Like they were flattering her ego. Even Data was all getting hot and heavy with the Borg Queen.
Gross.
I'm just saying, you couldn't Picard couldn't F his way out of the best of both worlds.
You could try.
I don't think it would have worked.
Wow, they're actually
God.
showing someone
Yeah.
hanging. Neat.
No more tea parties for Junior.
That is, I believe, the second hanging we've seen in Star Trek, the previous one being in Deep Space Nine, Vedic Yazim.
But they rewinded the footage to show the moment that he walks in.
That's not how you hang yourself.
Well,
Wait,
apparently
are they playing it in reverse?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, they are.
I just said that, by the way.
That's not how you walk through a corridor.
You don't walk off the chair to hang yourself. We have a national suicide hotline. You just call 811 now, which is they've had in the UK for a while.
877 cash now.
Well,
I have a structured settlement, but I need cash now.
Yes, yes.
the song that his mom puts on the phonograph is so cliche now. Well, I mean, I guess it was always cliche.
Oh, but an old woman, you say? Oh. There you go.
There you go. There's the line, the throwaway line to try and explain
Why she was like 90 years old in TNG, even though she died at
I mean,
35.
it was one episode, so it's kind of just valid to. It
Yeah.
doesn't even really need an explanation.
Star Trek has a long and treasured history of retconning.
Yeah. I was just laughing the other day. James
TOS retconned itself multiple times.
Is TOS even canon? How much? Like
Yeah.
80% of it has been retconned.
Yeah.
James R. Kirk. We had a tombstone with his middle
James
initials
Risible
R.
Kirk.
And you said Ribarius. What I also don't get is how's Picard's family so fabulously wealthy they hang on to the same piece of land for like 600 years?
That is
You just said it.
commonly how
They're
wealth
incredibly
works.
wealthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called generational
I mean,
wealth.
are they like Rothschilds or something? Because
No, it's just
It's just
it's just
Well,
Tony
his
their
dad was a famous actor.
vineyard.
I don't know how much he got paid for Battlestar Galactica.
all right, I mean, the Cylon money kept him going.
The Baltar money, you mean?
Yeah, wasn't he like a Cylon plant though?
He wasn't a Cylon plant. He was a useful idiot.
He was a collaborator.
So that makes the
He
Cylon
didn't
money.
know he was working for the Cylons. He thought he was selling military secrets to just some faction or whatever.
Because that's so much better.
It was only light treason, as far as he thought.
I mean, he was being coerced in his mind by like a bombshelled, attractive woman.
The blonde.
Yeah, blonde bombshell.
That is a thing that happens in real life. They use attractive people to
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to
try
coerce
to
you.
sway folk.
Intelligence services, especially. Yeah.
Now
Just throwing
shoot
this
her.
out there. If there's any very attractive spies who would like to trade secrets for sex, I know many
Don't be gross.
trade secrets.
Don't you go full Rick Berman here.
You know, but I remember
Rick
reading
Berman is not an aspirational figure.
a book about the Middle East, and this Iraqi nuclear scientist was, being swayed by an intelligence service. So his wife says, the other woman has to be an Israeli agent because who else would like you other than my mother's stupid daughter? And the author of the book says, well, the woman was right about one thing, but she was wrong about her mother's daughter being stupid because she did figure it out.
Her mother's daughter being her.
Yeah. So, but she wasn't stupid.
You just gave her a ship.
It's still a form of.
All right. But we needed
That-
that.
Oh, okay. I was wondering why so much dirt was coming off, but yeah, we crash landed on the thing, so that's why the dirt.
I want to know who greenlit this.
This whole TV show.
Yeah.
This season.
No, I agree. Like, for example, the aspect of Picard being a golem had no importance in this season whatsoever. In fact, it would have been better or the same if he was just like 1 year older in this season, like a human.
Kind of the point.
No, I'm just saying though, like if season 1 never happened and this was season 1, it would have been the same show. Oh, so we still have to go to.
There's a whole episode left in this season. It feels like the season's over. It feels like we did it.
Cape Canaveral still
Yeah.
waiting for us. Yeah, but the thing is, y'all are just sitting in the vineyard in France with no transporter. So
Yeah, they do have
Are
the
you gonna-
transporter.
are you gonna walk? Like,
They do have the transporter.
okay, where's the? Okay, I mean, I've missed that.
They
but-
have Talon's
portable
stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it looks like they're about to walk to America.
They'll probably get there. It's fine. All right. So next episode is Farewell. So we are going to start after the intro recap bit. If I can find it. How far into it is this?
Jesus.
Okay, 2 minutes and 11 seconds is where we're starting. It's a really long recap. The episode is Farewell. So this is an overhead drone shot as opposed to an underhead drone shot of a forest. And this is the season finale. So we're gonna hang out with Renee and Q and
Company.
I don't really remember what specifically other than that. I remember there's a hug involved. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play at 2:11.
There's a Do we get a kiss for Picard?
this place looks like it smells disgusting.
I think Picard and Varys kiss, so we get some action for the captain. That was a cryptic prophecy.
Yeah, I
Who
don't know
told
what
him
that
that?
means. I've seen this
What do you
season. I
mean?
have no idea what it means.
It's that she has to die. Tallinn has to die.
She's gonna assume her face. Like Face Off with Jack Nicholson and
Do we need to
John
think
Travolta.
Brent? Do we need to make Brent think that she's dead?
Yeah, because Brent's gonna poison her, but not niece Picard over here. The fake niece. I liked it. I mean, I like the intelligence aspect of it. Q manipulating Dr. Soong. Like Girardi couldn't have ordered
Picard,
Dr.
you
Soong.
can't. He just pulled a Jillian. That's illegal.
He should have jumped into her arms.
Yeah, was that necessary from Jillian? Did she had to? I guess it was her best bet. She didn't know what the rules are. Doesn't know if you have to just like stand next to him or. I find it very concerning that the transporter can't tell the difference between two
Mhm.
people if they're hugging.
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust it.
They should come out as a Cronenberg monster on the other end.
Yes, Jillian should have just killed them both when she did that.
That's what happened at the start of the motion picture. What we received didn't live long.
Well, that's because they
Finish
were, like,
the
doing
line. That's too much of a dramatic pause.
I said what we received didn't live long.
Yeah, there's another bit.
Fortunately.
Fortunately.
That's
Oh,
the
okay.
most
I don't
important part
remember
of
that
the
part.
line. All right, can the episode start now?
Yeah, a long intro. Long title sequence.
Thanks, Michael Weaver. Speed it up, man. Ooh.
Keep it up.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure that was Europa.
Yep.
Well, they used the real NASA images for Jupiter.
I can never remember which moons are Jupiter's and which moons are Saturn's. If you just asked me where Europa was, I don't know. It's one of the two. They're all the same.
Yeah.
There's hundreds of them. It's impossible to keep them straight.
Yeah.
Where's Ganymede? It's either Jupiter or Saturn for sure. Io,
Yeah.
it's either Jupiter or
Ganymede?
Saturn.
I
Callisto,
think
Jupiter or
Ganymede's an
Saturn.
asteroid, right? It's not even a.
No, Ganymede's a
moon?
moon.
Okay. Ceres is an asteroid, right?
Ceres is a dwarf planet in in Pluto's orbit.
Yeah. Oh,
So-
it's in Pluto's orbit. Okay.
It's not in Pluto's orbit, but it's in that sort of
Yeah.
region. It's that roughly that
Okay.
far away.
Okay, thank you.
And for a brief period in American education, Ceres was taught as one of the planets. And then we had Pluto. It's like, well, I guess there's like 11 now, and then we just kept finding more. There's a ton of them out there.
Yeah.
That's why it's totally impractical to consider Pluto a planet. There's just too many.
There's lots of them around there that are the
Well,
same
look,
thing.
yeah, it's cleared its orbit though, which is a pretty big.
But Pluto is like the
No, it
nicest
hasn't.
one.
Have you
That's
even
the whole
seen series?
reason.
Yeah, it's potato shaped.
Yeah,
A little.
A little.
it's ugly.
It's pretty round.
Wow.
I'm just saying, planets are really nice and spherical. Ceres is potato shaped. Like, I wouldn't want to live on an ugly potato.
Ceres is pretty spherical. It's not that bumpy.
Look, I need oblate spheroids that may as well be spheres. You can live on an ugly homeworld.
This is the one time I can't find a coupon for Arby's, and I'm like, I really
Arby's still exists?
want to go get Arby's. Yeah,
Yeah, they downsize a lot of chains, but they are as popular as ever in certain states.
downsize.
There's none in New York, as far as I know, anymore.
My god, he used Windows Media
don't-
Player. Picard, did you bring a gun from your chateau? Can you just shoot him?
What I'm trying to say is, how
Uh-oh.
come the Borg Queen didn't call off Dr. Soon if she just packed up and left?
Picked a pack of peppers.
Picked up her stuff and left.
Don't try to hack them. Just grab a hammer.
So,
You could stop them with a hammer.
fun fact about spaceflight history: the bay in Florida where they used to launch the space shuttle used to be called Cape Canaveral, but because JFK was the one who launched the moon mission, then they renamed it to Cape Kennedy. But if you grew up before 1969, it was called Cape Canaveral.
I'm going to be honest, I did not grow up in 1969, and I've only ever heard it described as Cape Canaveral.
Mm.
I've never heard anybody call it Cape Kennedy.
Yeah, they renamed it to Cape Kennedy.
Wow.
I don't know. It's kind of
Are you
like
sure you're not? Are you sure you're not from this timeline, Ryan? Because it seems like.
Okay, I just Googled it. Cape Canaveral is its current name. It was called Cape Kennedy until 1973.
Okay, I guess they named it, then they renamed it. And
Yeah,
they
it was
unnamed
Cape.
Like...
It was Cape Kennedy for 10 years.
That's so weird. Why did they? Okay, so I guess I'm the one who grew up before 1973.
Why are you so old?
Look, I'm just guarding all these astronauts, making sure they get on their flight. That's my job. Oh, this is so real. This is like Jeffrey Epstein being like,
Why do we let
5
people
million.
buy access to government employees?
I
Stop
donated I donated 5 million to a Harvard Law Center. I'm gonna need to talk to Bill Gates and Alan Dershowitz and Bill Clinton, and everybody's my friend now.
Okay, she's not depressed anymore. She's good. She's gonna go on the mission.
Picard had her up, but then now she's doing her depression thing again. But yeah. Also, I like this part because it's like astronauts know every single backup person on the crew. There's no
Maya's
way.
dead, Renee.
There's no.
Taking a
There's-
little nap.
There's no way you're gonna have somebody you never met before on the day of the mission. Like everything's been rehearsed 10,000 times.
Brent, why are you such a jerk? Is being a jerk necessary to your plans? Okay, apparently it is.
I think they're just trying to show like wealthy benefactors can muscle their way into many kinds of situations like this. You know, like Elon Musk trying to get people's social
Talon,
security
you
numbers.
can't. Okay, there we go. You need to listen to me. And
I
no,
did
that's
like
too
the
long
scene.
of a dramatic pause, Talon. You need to
Yeah.
start talking at that point.
Yeah. Because you know, like about our young Picard, we do have him
The
looking up at the
punchable one.
skies, and he's no, not that one. The one in TNG, but they do show like Renee, his nephew, being just like him, looking up at the skies. Like the name Stargazer is very apt for Jean Luc because he did used to like gaze at the skies when he was a kid. His
It's really
imagination was
applicable to
always there.
everyone. I mean, Starfleet operates in space. Stars everywhere.
True. But her too though. Her name's Renee too, right? Renee Picard. Because Renee was his nephew as well, the little kid who died in Generations. You know, Renee's a boy's name and a girl's name.
Talon, why are you being bad at your job? You're not supposed to let her see you.
Yeah.
True.
Look, that's the thing though. Sometimes that one moment of absolute candor can help the other person see that, like, you look, you're not playing games. I'm showing you all my cards. Show me yours.
Now can we use the hammer? No.
They blow up.
But honestly, though, it's stalking vibes. Like, hey, I was standing there behind you at your mother's funeral when you put the little figurine inside her casket.
Or if they... Wait, didn't they bring phasers? They could have shot them as well. There
All
are
I
so
want to
many
do is
manual solutions that don't involve hacking the mainframe through GUI Visual Basic.
Well, the thing is they blow up, so they have to do it at a distance at least. I don't think they. Well, they might have phasers.
So is that Talon in a disguise?
Yep.
About to get murdered? Brent, that's so mean. That's illegal, Brent. All right, it all worked out though. She's fine. Renee's
Yep.
good. Still gonna blow up the rocket though, just for fun. Hopefully nobody sees her, or there's gonna be a lot of questions. All right. It turns out hacking the mainframe was the solution. All right, so are we going to CGI her into Talon, or are we going to cut to Picard and play sound effect?
It was interesting that a human neurotoxin worked on her. Yeah, we cut. I know.
Talon also probably could have just, like, stabbed Brent. Okay, it's CG. That's what we're doing. I don't know that it was necessary for her to commit suicide by Brent. I feel like there were alternative solutions.
Yeah, they didn't know exactly what was meant, but yes, absolutely. If they had thought a bit more, they could have killed Brent instead.
She could have carried a lamp out of the room and bludgeoned him with it. Oh, and she has her ears now.
Yep.
Okay, yes. Full Romulan.
That the neurology of Romulans and humans is fairly similar, at least the chemical functions of it.
Yeah, I mean, like, rat poison would kill you too, Soma. So
Yes, but in terms of a neurotoxin, it specifically stops certain things in your brain functioning dependent on the specific neurotoxin.
Well, the thing is,
So it's a
humans and
specific chemical
Romulans are
thing.
actually the same species, which we know because of the existence of Sela,
True.
as well as humans and Klingons are the same species. Vulcans,
Well,
Cardassians, Bajorans.
Enterprise sort of suggests maybe not, because it does require medical intervention.
So Picard just gives her a kiss on the head. We don't even get a kiss.
What do you want them to do? Have a little dance now that she's dead on the ground?
So that's the other thing. We tried to kill Renee Picard like 4 different ways. One was depriving her of proper mental health treatment. 2 was running
Hit
her
her
over
with a
the
car.
3 was make sure she never gets onto that shuttle. 4 was neurotoxin.
Yep.
So, and then 5 was
5
hit
was
the
drones.
to hit the shuttle. So we needed and you still, it's like Khan over here. You keep missing the target, and you hit
Love the
everybody
Samsung
else.
monitors there.
Yeah.
I mean, this case makes sense because they are in technically the modern day.
That's what I didn't like a minute ago. Rio said, "Oh, I hate these analog controls." I'm like, we're digital in 2024.
Yeah.
Very few things
Oh
are
yeah,
analog.
this is Q's last gift.
No, it's not cute. It's his own creation.
The car?
Nope.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Corey, is this
His
really the
daughter's like-
place to be doing this? Sat down in the middle of a library aisle? Come on, girl. What are you doing? At least find a
She's using-
table to sit at.
I think she needed public Wi-Fi so she couldn't be traced. So I do like this ending because we have to explain why the character goes from clone engineering to Superman engineering.
Is this going to say Project Con again?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's not only the Soong family not only does cybernetics, but they also do superhumans, genetic engineering. You can take one route or the other. But you can't do both.
Wesley,
Wait,
stop
so-
being cryptic.
Yeah.
Fucking weirdo. Stop it.
That does.
Yeah,
I love that sounds like Wesley Crusher as he is in this from Prodigy, though. The way he talks is like that.
So funny. Did you like the scene, Soma?
It's fine.
No, because you were complaining how you didn't need the Enterprise D in season 3, so you didn't need Wesley to show up as a traveler. I thought it
It's
ties
one
in
of-
the character pretty well because
I
Yeah.
feel he looks like he's going to try to sell her on a crypto scheme.
and then run for president. But also we deleted his scene from Star Trek Nemesis and Insurrection, sorry. So we did need to give the character a proper send off. The Traveler did say, he's extraordinary. So you didn't dislike the scene so much.
The behind the scenes on this is that every show in production at the time really wanted to get Will Wheaton back as Wesley Crusher, so they're all sort of talking as to who's actually going to be able to do it.
That's
People
true because
just love Will Wheaton, I guess.
For season 3, they were trying to get Garrett Wang back as Harry Kim, but they said we didn't have the funding. So if you are gonna get someone, it is gonna be Wesley. I mean, it was interesting. It was a wasted opportunity, but I think they did the best they could with that wasted opportunity, with the Native American Wesley thing. But basically, look, like a lot of people when they get tired of like political or religious controversies, you know what they do? They opt out. He doesn't want anything to do with Federation settlers on Cardassian planets. He just opted out. And also, he had so much pressure
How
to
come
become
Cora's not in Prodigy? Is she not hanging out with him anymore?
She's been given a mission by him or what have you.
Oh, she was busy. She had another universe to save.
But
So
I just
what
feel
are the travelers, man? What are they? Who are they?
They
They're
travel,
guardians.
man. They travel and they watch.
It's the Watchers from TOS.
And
Basically
they
what
act
he was
all
doing
weird
in
and
97.
cryptic and like they're trying to sell you something.
Is some kind of overlap between like that and what we saw in like the original?
So
what do you
the
call it?
Traveler
Yeah,
story
Gary
line
7 is
is
the same.
in
Is the same
onwards with Gary 7, yeah.
organization. We just expanded the Gary 7 stuff to include Wesley Crusher.
7. Gary 7.
Yeah, it's from
Yeah,
the
from
1960s.
TOS.
It's the pilot. It was the backdoor pilot to a show that never ended up happening, and so they're taking the plot line.
I mean the newest Star Trek with was it Enterprise?
Yes, with Scott Bakula. Yeah, so that's what I was gonna say too, because that.
Yes, that was the newest Star Trek that was ever made. You are correct.
Yeah. They had like a time traveling arc with that.
Oh,
that was different.
Different organization that's doing the same thing. There's a few of them.
Very true, Ryan. But yeah,
it's like how the Tal Shiar and the Zhat Vash are just two words for the same thing. What's the point? Why are there two?
The Zhat Vash?
I feel like the Obsidian Order and Tal Shiar did the same function. It just happened to have different.
Well, they do, but they're different species.
Obsidian Order are Cardassians. Tal Shiar are Romulans.
I know, but they were just used interchangeably.
But they're the same
I think
species.
I think the CIA and the KGB do the same thing. It's like the same. They should just call them the same.
Okay, but the original thing was our new guest said that
What's your city review?
I guess he meant after the classic era. Enterprise was.
Yeah.
So I mean, I understood what he meant.
Enterprise was the newest. No, he's right.
Yeah, they were the time cops in Enterprise. There were some time cops in Voyager. I'm not sure if they're part of the same group.
There were time cops in Enterprise?
No, I feel like the time cops in Voyager are more
Daniels. I'm calling it time cop.
Daniels.
Yeah.
Temporal agent.
That's the Temporal Civil War. No, that's a different agency though. That's more like the
John.
Do we get a kiss here?
No, John does not kiss. Well, yes, on the forehead, but not. They're not going to make out.
See, okay, that's my thing. In my headcanon, they kiss.
He put the key back for himself to find in the future.
Yeah, so his mother can hang himself in the future.
He was checking to
hang herself
there because he already put the key back in the past. Yeah.
No way.
But in my
that would have messed up the timeline.
That would be the tapestry.
that's the thing. I think that's the thing. He could have saved his mother if he didn't find the key. So that's what Q's whole game was. That's what his whole season was.
What has Q
If
been
you-
doing in the meantime?
I completely missed that the first time I saw this.
I know that part of what Q has done is go to a clothing shop and see a tailor, because he did not enter this century with that outfit. That's new.
I think he's just been reading up on Sigmund Freud.
So
He's just been hanging out.
this whole thing was to see if Picard would put the key back. This is just
Yeah,
Tapestry.
exactly.
This is just Tapestry 2.0. The
It
whole
is.
season.
Yes, it
Yes.
is.
But it's worse. The
Good.
Tapestry was better.
Good observation, Robo.
But so this is just a total rip, man.
No, so it was you
No,
took
it's-
Tapestry and you made it a whole season long. Yeah.
Whatever, Picard. I killed 2 people. It's fine. But you got to learn a life lesson. It's fine.
I think the also thing was though, so Encounter 4 sets up this theme as well, right? Because he says the trial will never end. So Tapestry was that, Q Who was that, because all he had to do was say, I need you, Q. So he's always doing character growth on Jean-Luc, because he's like playing shrink like that. Basically,
Their
Q Who
relationship
was
is
all
very
he had-
similar to that of a master and his beloved pet.
Yep.
But yeah, as Q will explain, even gods have favorites. It's just, he just likes Picard. He hangs out.
Yeah. He appeared
Right,
in
so-
Picard's bed once.
I think he was in Janeway's bed too, but she wouldn't stand for it. They both jump out. But when the last words of the Farpoint episode are the trial never ends. So and then of course All Good Things was all about, can you figure out a paradox? It's like the chicken and the egg, Will. The chicken,
Chicken
and
and the egg! Data gets it. He's a smart boy.
We can't. We have to save humanity.
It's kind of fun how Q went from a major antagonist when he first showed up to just mess with people because it's fun and I'm not actually a bad guy.
He's definitely still an antagonist. He killed several
Yeah.
people this season.
Antagonist,
mean-
but not an evil person, I should say.
Oh,
He stopped the DNA from forming in the primordial soup. That's pretty evil.
this part I really like. Why does all this matter? What's the point? Does it have galactic importance? Like,
Yeah.
no, it's because I personally care. I want this.
Yeah.
Oh,
Of course, they undermine
Strictly-
it in a couple scenes from now when it does have galactic importance. But for this
strictly
moment,
speaking, E-review, strictly
Even
speaking,
gods have
Picard caused that with the tachyon beams converging in one point in space across
Yeah,
3
but-
timelines.
Right. You have to figure it out though. So Q is the one who caused him to turn on the tachyon beam, I think, in the first place.
But that point in space isn't the same point in the universe across those timelines. It's always moving.
don't worry about it.
It was such a great episode though. Like such a great finale to such a great show.
Oh, are we not allowed to use that swear yet? TV show? Oh no, we did in season 1.
Oh yeah, the Friar Tuck episode was also Q. Like he was just proving his point about like does he love her or not. Like he does all this to prove a point. Kind of like me.
I like that Q's still a little bit menacing, even though he's on his deathbed.
Yeah.
That's the thing. They don't have any precautions.
No,
'cause he's
Rios,
obviously
no,
falling
you're
apart.
gonna mess up the timeline, Rios, you fool.
Yeah.
He stays, and that means that El Norton lives, so.
I don't care how pretty she is. You get this. It's irresponsible. At least go live on
You have
Grivet Island or
PTSD,
something,
dude.
man.
Chill out.
Take her to the future. It's so much nicer. Come on. There's no reason to.
Yeah, that kid doesn't grow up to be anything. Just take the new lady and the kid with
Do
you.
you think he's gonna tell her about World War III coming in 2 years, or is he gonna leave that as a nice surprise?
Good point.
I mean, to be fair, he doesn't actually know when exactly World War III
You-
starts because the
You know what?
timeline is in flux.
I will say this though. Okay, if you take me back to 1963, I'll stay just so I could live in America and smoke Cuban cigars.
Yeah, I'd second that.
Thank you. I might just have to.
Cuban cigars.
Before
When did they? When did they?
Before Kennedy outlawed them, he ordered a
Yeah,
box. and
Mark
kept it-
Twain said that the future
Of
is
course
worth
he
giving
did.
up cigars for.
He said, yes, he ordered. What was it? 4,000. He ordered a lifetime supply.
Would
But,
that have run out by now? Probably would have. Mark Twain didn't know what was in store for him.
No, I meant JFK. But
Same
the
guy.
thing is, though, I have a friend in
Yeah,
Dubai.
JFK didn't know. He ordered a lifetime supply.
Yeah.
You can't
It's
die,
not hard
right?
to get though. I have a friend who moved to Dubai for work, and he says it's interesting that in the land of Islam you can get Cuban rum and Cuban cigars pretty freely. You just have to be like not from there.
Yeah. Just not a beer.
Are those smudges on his jacket or are those little depictions? Because that
That's
kind of
fine,
looks
yeah.
like a planet, but the rest of them look like smudges.
It's
It
different
is.
planets in a star system,
Oh, is that? I
asteroids.
thought it was tears.
Yeah, it is like
Tears.
gumdrop, teardrop shaped for sure.
That's definitely
you
a
saying that-
custom job.
Spiders?
Yeah.
No, it's like circular planetoid things.
And
They're all-
Nance resolved the plot line at the start of the season, but only sort of.
Okay, so non-Genev. This song is very cliche. It's
This is the same song that Q is playing in the vineyard. You know, when he punched Picard.
from the show
Cancel self-destruct.
or TNG, Ryan.
The show. In episode 1 or 2 of the season.
Thank you. Okay, I want to say I love the consoles in this show. Like they're wall high, they're curvy, they're bright and clear.
Drade, if you were supposed to be the nice Borg now, couldn't you have just used your words?
You could have said hi. How are you? How's your day?
Hmm.
Is she CGI'd in here?
Kind of.
Looks like it.
Or either that or it's the wall thing. By the way, this is geared up to be like the best battle since First Contact.
Not much of a battle. It's kind of
No.
just a
Yeah,
slaughter.
we were all getting
Yeah,
mowed
that's it.
down for sure.
Yep.
Right, they had a phonograph, which is funny because I had a phonograph even in the 90s. Our neighbor died, and he gave away they gave away his gramophone and his records. So it was kind of cool. We had an old machine.
Okay,
that
I
played
have
records.
another question. That's why you sent the signal. One that you knew I would understand. The signal was literally his name. It was "Help us, Jean-Luc Picard." It's
Yeah.
like, of course they would understand it.
No, it was just Picard. We'll only talk to Picard.
It was "Help us, Picard." Help us, Picard.
Okay.
Help. Oh, wait, the center of the quadrant.
It's a spatial flexure. Oh, tri-quantum waves. Wow. That's so many quantums.
A galactic
Yeah, I don't-
event. Mm-hmm.
I don't think it should have done this galactic threat thing at the end. I think ending it with we did all this because it was important to Q personally. I think that would have been a really good
Yeah.
point to stop it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole Q Picard thing was.
No, okay, so yes, you're
Amazing.
right. But look, it's all about suspense, audience anticipation. We had an amazing movie level battle at the first episode to start with, and even now we finish it because everything in between was a flashback. So now we're resolving it. So this is like, JJ level storytelling, guys.
Oh, Fields Commission. Fields Commission. She's in Starfleet now. We did it. So there is your answer to why she was suddenly in Starfleet in season 3.
Also, he made her captain. That's what she sat in the captain's chair, so she's captain.
That is how it works.
Yeah, commanding officer is referred to as
Yeah,
captain.
doesn't
Galaxy class.
necessarily have to have said you're captain, but he's commissioned her to captain the ship.
You have the con. Galaxy class is in the house, by the way.
So repeated from episode 1, but I really appreciate that they learned their lesson from season 1 and they're all different ship classes now.
Mm.
There's some galaxies in there. There's an Excelsior. I think there's an Akira. There's a No, that's an Excelsior there too. That's an
Stargazer.
Akira.
Nebula.
That Sovereign class I see.
Yeah, there's a Sovereign in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
There was as well, I don't know the
Titan.
ship class, but it was this one from the season 1 finale, the USS Zhenghe.
Celsior 2.0.
All right, I mean, lesson learned, because that's a beautiful shot, even though the ships are kind of chunky. Hey, Elnor's back.
See the first Romulan in Starfleet?
Instead of saying thank the Lord, she says goddamn Q.
Yeah.
No, the first
Sorry.
Romulan in Starfleet
Was the guy on
Was.
trial on Next Generation?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was like quarter Romulan though.
But
He
at
had-
Yeah.
Starfleet, in
Or
particular,
one
Norris said to
Romulan,
use the
he
one drop
was-
rule.
Yeah. The first
Yeah.
official Romulan who was brought in as a Romulan didn't lie about it on his resume. Is Elnor.
He was part Vulcan, not part Romulan. I
No,
disagree.
He was
I
Romulan.
think
part Romulan.
No, he was
anything
He was
that
the
could do
Vulcan.
this to the fabric of space wouldn't be stopped by shields.
I think he put himself down as a Vulcan, but it turned out he was Romulan. Because obviously
That's right. He put himself down as Vulcan, as
His
part of our
paternal
Vulcan.
grandfather.
Yes. Witch hunt.
I remember the
Drumhead,
specific
right?
detail that it
Drumhead,
was his
right.
paternal grandfather, but I don't know the dude's name. Who is he?
The episode's called The Drumhead.
Yeah, but who's the guy?
And-
Yep.
Is it the Drumhead or just Drumhead?
I think it's the
Um,
drumhead.
I believe it's.
Is it Voyager or the Voyager?
It's a Voyager. It's Star Trek 4 Voyager.
It is the Drumhead.
Wow, I
Oh,
need
it's
to
a
hold
blue
Wikipedia.
transwarp conduit. It's a nice
Can't find
transwarp
the kid's
conduit this
name.
time.
Simon Tarsus.
Simon
Yeah.
Tarsus.
Totally blanked out on that name.
Simon.
Yeah, I recognize that name.
A puzzle
Uh,
tied
good-
to a threat, which we will cut from season 3 and we're not going to elaborate on.
Yep. We'll never resolve it. We'll probably,
We'll probably resolve it in like 30 years in the next reboot cycle.
Yeah.
What happened to Simon Tarsus?
I think in a
He was a
book he
human
became
Romulan
chief
hybrid
medical
male.
officer somewhere.
He was human Romulan hybrid.
The more notable.
It feels
than
so
that
rude to
guy-
call someone a hybrid. I don't think that's the polite term.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Also, I'm pretty sure that was a Na'vi from Avatar in this bar.
Confirmed.
It's been a while,
That's
Whoopi.
Hey, we didn't have Ozempic back in 2020.
Wow. Wow.
I'm gonna be muted. Sorry.
Wow.
Hang on, let me Google what that is before I decide whether I need to disconnect you.
It's a weight loss drug.
Yeah.
Rude. The
all the celebrities.
Mariposas. Ah, that's a
Even-
TNG reference. Mariposa. That was from. That was the name of a ship in TNG.
Yeah. I remember that.
No, the Mariposa is like a famous. No, okay,
Mariposa.
it's a famous hotel.
Like I know
but
it's
think
also
he-
just a word in Spanish, but it was also in
Yeah.
TNG.
I think Tom Paris mentions it too.
Mariposa.
The Mariposa was the ship carrying the offensive depiction of Irish people.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't recall that episode. What was that one?
It was called Up the Long Ladder.
Oh,
It was the
the
episode where
Space
they had to
Irish-
get the Irish people stereotype
And
and the people
were
who
wearing-
survive only by
Ah.
cloning to work
They
together,
drank-
to live together.
To live together.
Yeah.
To
I
have
remember.
3 husbands and 3 wives.
oh,
So it
wait,
made it
there was-
actually essential that Rio stayed in the past, and that's what saved the future.
And since at that stage, that was what, season 2, season 1, season 2.
yeah,
It
was
was
early
bad,
on.
so I'm going to assume season 1.
It was
yeah.
it was when
too,
Gene
too.
Roddenberry was still involved. So everybody in the future is super horny, and she heard 3 husbands, and she was like, "All right, I'm in." Say
Yeah.
no more. That was her
Right, yeah.
reaction.
Yeah,
She
that's
just
right, yeah.
immediately perked right up. Oh yeah, she did have a thing with Riker, didn't she? Like
Yeah. She
like-
washed his feet.
she washed his feet. Yeah.
Wait, there were
Yeah.
two
That's-
Space Irish episodes with TNG, or because they were evacuated in the cargo
No, there
bay?
was Space Scottish people in Sub Rosa.
The only other Irish people we see are in Voyager.
Okay.
Oh, the
Fairhaven.
holographic people though. Does that count?
So they're
It's
allowed
the-
to be stereotypes because they're holograms.
Because Tom Paris wrote them, and he's one of the worst human beings in the galaxy.
He got better. He was terrible in the
You know what,
first
though?
couple seasons. He got better.
You know what? They really made the Irish countryside so quaint, though. You know, I kind of like that arc.
So quaint.
See, I think part of the problem is thinking of
Keyboards,
Irish people
how
as
quaint.
quaints.
Ah.
Like they have cities. It's a whole country.
I like
Yeah.
to. I want a vacation to Ireland, just so I can see how we used to live when we were primitive.
Oh God!
Jesus.
Ooh.
Really
I'm
channeling that
English,
early
and I'm
90s
cool with
energy.
that.
It's
Yeah,
like,
loads of whiskey.
it's an anthropological expedition.
The Ryan's Edits YouTube channel officially does not endorse the sentiments expressed.
By the,
Yep.
guest members.
Ireland's great though. I must admit, Ireland is great. You
I
should
know.
go.
I do. I really do want to go vacation there. I really do.
Yeah, I think it's a great civilization as well. From just
Absolutely.
playing Crusader Kings, I really think it's so interesting how anyway different parts of it are so unique.
You know, Crusader Kings is a video game, yeah?
Yeah. But you know, like you know, but because they're both Celtic, even when they were both Catholic, you know, like there's a Scottish. rite
Oh,
of-
she's
anyway.
going on adventures of her own. That's why she's not in season 3, because she's got things to do. She's busy.
Who?
Laris here.
Rafi? Laris? She dies.
No, she's right here.
She died.
Not yet.
No, that was
That was
Larin.
Talon.
Talon.
Different. That was her great 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 grandmother who looks exactly like her.
Okay.
That's how genetics works.
Yeah. It is apparently in Star Trek.
I mean,
It skips several generations, but then
T'Pol does
you
it.
get a full.
Star Trek has never
Yeah.
understood biology in any capacity. Don't worry about it.
I think like Riker was
Yeah,
his own.
Around this season as well.
Riker was a Confederate general, Thaddeus Riker during. No, not a Confederate general, just a soldier during the Civil War.
Was he Confederate?
No, he was Union.
Did-
Sorry.
It's like that.
Oh,
That's
that's-
messed up for Star Trek to make one of our heroes a Confederate.
Alaska was in the Union, so
I guess he wasn't like it wasn't Riker. It was Thaddeus Riker.
yeah. T.
But no, but then
Correct.
that would still be idolizing because they named their kid after him.
Yeah.
Whatever. Season 3.
May as well.
And
leave
we're
him
starting
be.
from 0 because it's a new season. There's no recap to skip.
Oh, smart.
They should have a recap. It should be all of TNG and the first 2 seasons just recapped.
By the way, we get the bad guy ship in the intro for Star Trek.
So all the when I was seeing the promotional material with what's his name, Moriarty, very exciting, very exciting to see him. I kept joking that the big villain, who we know was that woman, but we didn't know who she was like, oh, that's the Countess Regina Bartholomew. You know, his wife from that one episode in TNG.
Yes. She serves
It's all
tea and
about the
she
holograms. 5,
She becomes intelligent
4,
too.
3, 2, 1, play. Yes, the Countess Regina Bartholomew found a way to break containment and is now seeking vengeance against Picard. I think they should have gone with that storyline instead of the Borg again.
You know, I will tell you,
All
if
3
you're gonna
seasons
tickle
are
my-
about the Borg.
If you're gonna tickle my nostalgia, you should have brought Moriarty back. You shouldn't have just like teased me like that.
He's in the show for a scene. Kind of. It's a different Moriarty, but it's him.
Yeah, it channels Riker's memory, not even the Moriarty episode. But anyway, let me not complain because
I don't want to set the world. When I played
This is
Fallout 3,
Fallout.
you know, like 35 years ago or whatever, yeah, that got me into this band for a little bit. I like this band. They're called the Ink Spots.
I think this is in the Fallout TV show as well.
Probably. It's pretty iconic to Fallout 3. Is that the Titan? Or is that Dr. Crusher's ship?
This is Dr. Crusher's ship.
Sorry, not a doctor anymore. Just Crusher. I guess she's still a doctor, even though she's not in Starfleet.
Right.
Yeah, those masks are creepy. I know they're a real life thing, but I hate them. Oh, that's a Dyson bladeless fan.
I'm immediately going to more TNG style stuff.
Oh, that was a TNG reference because that was explicitly a captain's log from TNG, which was that was Best of Both Worlds Part 1.
By the way,
Oh,
the label
subtitles.
said Lieutenant Commander Jack Crusher, which, if we noticed,
So I'm only
How
going to
did-
say it once. I'm not going to comment it through the rest of the season. But Dr. Crusher's Botox kind of weirds me out. She doesn't. She looks very, very different.
yeah,
It
You know,
says crew member to hide who it is at the moment.
because like she was super attractive, like for TNG. I just feel like when you're like, it's just hard to keep that up. Like you're not always gonna be. So it's hard.
Yeah, shotgun. Phaser shotgun.
Like sorry, just like the fan reaction when they had Pulaski and then they brought back Gates McFadden, and people were like, "Oh, I'm so glad they brought back the hot doctor." Like her as a redhead, she was a very easy on the eyes, and to watch in TNG.
Mhm.
And
Rare we see a power cell depletion in Star Trek.
When was the last
Oh,
time
for
a phaser
phasers?
ran out of batteries?
yeah. Although we
Apparently
never
it's a
see
very
the
effective
rapid,
shotgun.
we never see the rapid fire that person's was using before they.
How come we never see, instead of rapid fire, when they have beam phasers, why don't they just like sweep it across the room? It's always, they point at one person, fire, stop, point at another person, fire, point at another person, fire. Just sweep it.
I think like we were coming off the Doom era of like computer graphics. So everybody was just like using it like a shotgun or a pistol.
Oh, she pumped the shotgun twice for double the disintegration power.
Mm.
Oh dear.
Oh, she took one.
Mm.
I gotta say, sorry if I'm spoiling it for anyone. Me want to mute.
If you've not
But
seen
when,
this season, go away and watch it.
yeah. But the fact that Jack is like Jean-Luc and Beverly's actual child, I thought there must have been some in vitro or some like petri dish involved. I mean, not to be ageist, but that's the last thing I was expecting, that like he had an actual
That
kid.
is pretty ageist of you, yes.
Yes, I'm sorry. Let me shut up now.
What a goat, man.
People
was
are
kind of
capable of having
Yeah, that's a
children after
reference.
25.
It threw me
This
off.
is very much a reference to the films and everything.
Sure, okay. Yeah, that looks... What font is that? It's not Arial.
Yeah. Wow. It's definitely the TNG font.
That's a reference.
Oh, what is this painting from? What episode is this from? Is this something Data
It's
painted?
his ready room.
Oh, it's the Ready Room
Yeah.
painting.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that fossil.
Like early season 2
There
ready
it is.
room. Because
Yeah, she's in episode 1 and then she disappears. She's
Yep.
got things to do. She's busy.
once you bring back all the TNG cast, you're not going to be worried about.
Just anything, ever.
Yeah, you're not going to be worried about Laris and the butler guy. Who's the other butler guy? We don't even see him, so we're just drifting.
The Fleet Museum. Jordy's running the Fleet Museum. Keep that in mind for about 4 weeks. Oh, that's a Bajoran thing, isn't it? On his desk?
That's almost certainly a large-scale Edelmoss model of the Enterprise.
That's from the.
Oh, he had a ship in a
observation
bottle
map.
as well. He
Oh,
had a
yes.
Klingon, some kind of Klingon battlecruiser ship in a bottle. You know what? I'm going to count that as a reference. Didn't anyone build ships in bottles when they were boys?
Yeah.
I never played with boys.
Good. Why does he have the Bajoran thing, though? He wasn't
a
in that
plaque
show
that says
except for
Picard
one
on
scene
it,
where he
yeah.
yelled at the emissary.
Yeah. It must have been like when Bajor became part of the Federation, they gave him a plaque.
And that, of course, is the Resican flute from The Inner Light, which, if you look up there, the writer of that episode made a comic called The Outer Lights, and it's terrible. It's a sequel to that where he finds his fake dead wife actually in cryostasis in a ship somewhere or in a pod.
Ah,
Yeah, we didn't need that.
yeah.
We did not need that. Just leave some things alone. That episode couldn't have been more perfect, and I only recently realized that every commercial break we jump.
Oh,
like 10
wait, that's
years.
the I don't know what it's called. It's from the Chase. Professor Galen gave it to him.
That was his gift. That's pretty amazing.
And then people
that
got
was-
really mad at Generations because someone edited a clip of him putting it down to include a crashing sound, and people took that as canon.
But that was also his mentor, by the way. So
Yeah.
it meant a lot.
Whose name he took in the Die Hard episode.
So, but wait, and then also that was the attempt to make him Indiana Jones, because like Indy has a mentor like who he relies on too for like anthropological knowledge.
Is that I guess that's a TNG reference. Just his
Oh,
old
yeah.
badge.
Even the chirp is a
Yeah.
TNG reference, by the way. You guys don't get all nostalgic when you hear that chirp?
I don't know, just press the button.
I actually have a TNG comm badge. I bought it at Star Trek: The Experience.
Yeah, can't you get like Bluetooth phone connector
Yeah,
comm badges
yeah.
just
yeah.
on Amazon?
Mhm. But for the Star Trek amusement park thing, called the Experience in Las Vegas, I bought my own TNG shirt on the top and my own comm badge because it had a comm badge drawn on it, but I wanted like a real comm badge. So in the ride, only the staff was actually wearing the uniforms. Most of the tourists were
And
wearing.
Picard 47 Alpha Tango. That is the same
Oh my
password
god!
he's had for his entire career.
Oh my god! No, it wasn't in TNG. It was only in First Contact.
Yeah. But it's for at least 20 years. Or
Yeah.
maybe
I mean, I
it's
think
the
if
same
you-
password because the comm badge is really old and it's still
Yeah.
using the same password.
Yeah. It's like the Microsoft RDP system where any previous password can be used to access it in case you're using an old device.
Wow.
Yep. They
That seems
actually
super
just allow
sketchy.
you to use any previous password. It's bad.
Well, almost as bad as most routers just being admin, and like if you just try enough times, you'll probably get into someone's hardware.
Change your router password to a Star Trek reference. That's what I did.
Yes, that's way better than the default setting, which is out there. That's nice that we get like quality time though by the fireplace with this character. They could have just been by. But they should have just like put her on Romulus or New Romulus and just trying to reconstruct the refugee situation. They didn't need to.
No cops. So is she retired? Is she just hanging out?
She's doing Fenris Rangers medical transport.
Oh, Beverly?
No, is Laris fully
Oh,
retired?
nice.
Does she have a job?
Looks like
Or does
it.
she just sit in a chateau all day?
Her job is helping him in the chateau.
I guess she did say she has adventures to take care of, so presumably she has a side gig.
She might just be taking care of a chateau.
Maybe she's still doing Tal Shiar stuff on the side.
House sitting. House sitting is what it's called. Oh, but I was noticing before, they mentioned that the house was used by the French resistance during World War II. So even when we were walking under the cellar during the last episode, I felt very Maquis vibes.
Yeah, we never jump back to that.
Well, I suppose it's better than saying that they were
Mm.
collaborators with the Vichy regime.
There is a reason why we don't see much of Deanna Troy in this season. It's because
Mhm.
Marina Sirtis lives in the UK, so she can only work in America for a limited period of time.
It's just such a shame.
Yeah.
Well,
And
it's
what
her
could she be
fault
doing
for
that's
being
wrong?
captured. Okay, that is 100% the Eagle Moss model and
Yeah.
stand.
Yep.
Which
Both
those
of you
stands
have
are
that,
really
right?
fragile, by the way.
Yep. Yeah, they're really badly designed.
Eagle? What?
The Eagle
There's a
Moss
company
stands are
called
really
Eagle
badly
Moss, but it's
designed.
now out of business.
Eagle?
But they made the best souvenirs, like figurines of the ships.
Eagle Mask.
Some of them quite life-sized.
Ooh, this one is a Bajoran. Wow. There's a Tellarites here. There's an Andorian in the back. Really emphasizing the fact that Picard is French with his hat choice. Any other aliens? I think everyone else here is human.
I like the Tellarite look. It's a good upgrade from Enterprise. Like you don't, in TOS they actually look piggy. You don't want them to actually look piggy.
I'd be willing to bet that Deanna's like breaking up with him because of the nonstop jazz references. She was sick of it in Lower Decks when he was
In
still
Lower Decks,
captain.
yeah. 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, come on.
No, Riker, we need an actual warp factor. You can't just. That's not helpful.
Yeah.
Ah, he's drinking Swap Dad. That's what Kestra is doing.
I think it says Swafford.
Added 3. What if you run a pattern matching algorithm on the number 3? Would that help?
I did like this because
He needs
it
to
makes
find a
sense.
plane. A plane
It
or a
makes
ship.
sense that
Or a car.
she could.
A bicycle built for 2.
It makes sense that she would reach out to him, and then he would reach out to his best friend, and they. And then, like, why did we never get this character to like blossom?
Mhm.
Can
Like,
we just
honestly, Sub
borrow a
Rosa.
Federation starship?
I'm probably gonna get myself banned, but Sub Rosa was like kind of an insult, to end off on that character. So the character deserved like a whole season.
Whoa,
just
what
for
do you
her.
have against Sub Rosa? Sub Rosa is an amazing episode.
It's a kind of so bad it's good.
No, the actor
Oh,
deserved
hey, good.
better. The fans deserve better. The season 7. Honestly, if you axed that episode, it would have been an improvement on the whole season because,
Well, there's at least 3 episodes that fit that description.
yeah,
It just ran out of ideas.
yeah.
I need to rewatch more of season 7. It was so jank.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
I want to rewatch
Even-
the train episode where the train came alive.
yeah, that was a good one. Holoform City.
Tamarian
hello,
drugs.
Ruffy.
Tamarian drugs is a reference to the children of Tama, who are the Darmok and Jalada Tanagra people.
Hmm.
I do want to commend these newer Trek shows. I mean, Enterprise started this too, but like seeing the seedy parts of town, like, come on, like Jean-Luc's Enterprise never goes to like Cloud City or
TOS literally goes to Cloud City.
yeah, true.
Whole
But I'm just
city
saying,
built in the sky.
Like, there's no Federation law. People are just doing drugs and trafficking people.
The only times we see that in TNG are with like primitives who the whole point of the episode is to show that we're better than them.
Right. Backward planets. Or like Tasha's home planet, but that's a flashback, like she escaped from all that.
No, we go there in person.
Yeah, for one episode, and then we leave. And it's a failed Federation colony, but like, how did you fail to like your colony? But oh well, it's kind of dark, you know.
Rafi, you just swore on my Star Trek. That's illegal.
I mean, the Orions do that too, like, as we know they traffic people. So apparently, we're okay with that in TOS, but that's a whole nother thing. I see, but so I kind of like how Rafi, you know, she has to just be because she has substance abuse issues.
Does
She gets
she?
to
She
be,
had in the past, so she's using that experience to get the information.
yeah, to get the information. But who doesn't have substance abuse issues, right? So
Speak for yourself, man.
I'm gonna mute myself.
This whole Red Lady plot, why was it Garrett? Did they just pick a random character who we know? Like, the fact that it's Garrett doesn't matter in this show.
Yeah.
No, yeah, but it was supposed to keep us guessing as fans, because remember, every week we go like dissecting the episode like it's Lost. Ever since like we go on forums, like who's the Red Lady? I would not have come up with that, but she does wear red every time we see her.
But if you're gonna if you're gonna
Yeah.
do something cryptic like that where you want people to speculate, there should be some kind of payoff.
Yeah. Yeah, true. It shouldn't just be like something we can never figure out.
Nothing.
Yes, do it, Rafi.
Although
Take the drug. It's free. You
I
already
guess
have it. Oh,
I guess the payoff is we see her in Section 31 though, so that's a payoff for me.
such
Is it?
wow, such a payoff.
Based on
This is amazing.
Wow, it's even bigger now.
Yeah, it's got 3 floating
Cool.
platforms.
Yeah, satellites.
It's also a lot shinier.
Yeah, and chunkier. I gotta say though, I really until DS9 ruined it. It was always understood we had like starships and star bases, and that's it. We didn't really have outposts.
Yes, we
I
did.
guess we did in Star Trek.
The first episode of
Star Trek
TNG
2.
was about establishing an outpost.
Yeah, no, I mean like you know, in a video game, like a starbase, a smaller form of a starbase is a outpost. So you don't have outposts and then shipyards. It's just we just have those mushroom-shaped starbases. And then DS9 was like, oh well, now there's Deep Space 7, Deep Space 5, Deep Space 9.
TV show, why are you
TOS
acting like this is an
movies.
Enterprise reveal? This is a whole new ship.
It's in the same location in Space Doctor as the Enterprise was.
Neo Constitution.
Neo.
And yeah, it's a bit iffy again whether this is a refit or a new ship.
No, this is much smaller than the Titan that the flagship Riker used to command.
But Picard, she specifically said no cops. Why are we bringing Shaw?
Because they need a ship. And they no longer have Rios.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Oh, TOS reference. Haven't seen those in a minute.
I think we did use the whistle in TNG.
Did we? Maybe in season 1. They dropped all the military
Yeah.
stuff pretty quick.
Yeah, they did. But then in All Good Things for the finale, they used that to like transition between time periods as well. Because you know you're in season 1 when they're still being militaristic like that.
Ooh.
Picard, you don't have to be a jerk about it. Is he evil? Why are we focusing on that guy?
Oh, he's a bad guy. Bad guy.
Is he planting a bomb?
Mm-hmm. He's got
All right.
tentacles.
Also, we passed that same Tellarite twice between different cuts.
Okay, I want to say
We should look at the outro for this because there's some
Yeah.
Easter eggs and things
You
in it.
guys are
Okay.
far more observant than I am.
Well, we've
Yeah, we've
been
done
here a
this for-
minute.
been-
for 3 years.
we keep each other sharp. We keep
Like,
each
I
other,
watch it once and I'm just like
No.
enthralled by it.
We keep each other laser sharp over here.
Okay.
Oh,
love
that's a TNG reference because there was the TNG theme playing in the background.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
The
when
TOS
we
films reference with that.
when we first started this watch along in 2020, we were looking out for triangle ships, which is a specific model of a ship that's used only in TNG moving forward. And we were counting, and so like I could be in the middle of a conversation, and Ryan would be like, "Hang on, triangle ship," and it's like, okay, wow, I guess there's a triangle ship dressed up as a Bajoran vessel. I don't know how he spotted that, but there it is.
God, Riker, that is a classic old manism, just embarrassing the youth on purpose.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I liked them that they're also Tosh in Dragon Age Veilguard.
Do we know who Sydney's mom is? Is it Leah?
We s- no,
They
well,
give
I
us an
don't
initial.
think she's mentioned.
Her name is Leah, but it's not Leah Brahms necessarily.
Oh,
It
it's
better
just
not be Leah
coincidentally
Brahms.
someone else with the same name.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going straight into the TOS movies.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a TOS reference for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
In fact, the music is mirroring it pretty closely as well.
All you need is somebody to like Savick to do the protocol state that we have to like clear permission from space dock first.
Very TOS.
Yep, here we go. This is exactly the TOS scene.
So yeah,
All right,
this
so I guess-
entire season is just nostalgia baits.
Okay,
Yep.
they're starting us off like with a heavy dose of nostalgia.
It's gonna continue. You're gonna be getting a consistent dose.
I need
Chronic
something
nostalgia.
Sweet. I think I need something sweet because like this nostalgia is making me a little nauseous. Yeah.
Oh, I don't like how short that ship is. I don't like that primary hull.
Mm.
It looks like a stapler with the railing.
I want the
Where's the-
I want the ship to be about as long in the back as the nacelles.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a waste of space.
The only exception is the Centaur. The Centaur gets to be really long.
Wow, he really said warp 9.999. Like
9.9.
nobody, no one's gonna bat an eye at the fact that like
Yeah, it's protocol. It's all
You're-
protocol.
fly the ship apart, huh?
Okay, that
Like-
shut it, Will, I need to take a note of because there's a blooper on that line, but I didn't know what episode it was from. It's episode 1, timestamp 2812.
I need my car to go 289 miles an hour. Because
What
it
are they
can.
eating?
Because it can.
Oh, hey, Liam.
So we're going to have a lot of 21 One Piece actors in this because of the showrunner.
What, Frodo on One Piece? What's that? Frozen Piece?
Not sure.
No, what did you say?
No, I said that we're going to have a lot of 21 One Piece actors, whatever the show's called, because of the
Oh, okay.
showrunner.
Okay. 21 Jump Street?
What's it called? Terry Metalis.
Okay.
12 Monkeys, sorry.
Sorry. I mean, no, I'm not familiar with the show.
I've heard it's decent.
This is
Okay,
some
but-
excellent pettiness from Shaw.
Yeah.
No,
Applause. I just want to say this is the
every
best
single
introduction.
thing he says.
Yeah, this is the best introduction to any character in Star Trek of all the shows, because he starts dinner early. Like, he's like, "Are we late?" He goes, "No, like your reputation preceded you." Captain Shaw's like Jellicoe was the guy who'd be
Captain
least
Shaw just
entertaining.
wants to do his job and go home. They're making it so hard for him.
Someone probably has, but we need to have an edit that starts off with that line, and then there's all of the taking fire and blowing stuff up of the entire season.
God, poor guy.
And that's precisely
And then-
why Captain Shaw hates these two to start off with.
Yeah.
He knows that there's going to be something up.
But you know, the whole fan base is reverential for these two actors, and he just says like, unlike you boys who cause trouble at every opportunity. Like, wow, the disrespect is like unsettling. This show is really like gunning after us.
But Riker, he explicitly just said he likes things to be structured and ordered. He's not gonna break the routine.
Like, he hasn't poured out any wine for his guests. He's gonna throw them out after he finishes his peas. He's gonna give them a bunk bed to sleep on instead of like the admiral's quarters.
Yes, excellent, Liam. The no.
You know, every line is a diss.
Wait, hang on. 5 years, 36 missions. Hang on. How many weeks between missions is that? Let's see. That's 5 times 52, so that's 260 weeks, 36 missions. So that's what, 7 or 8 weeks between missions. So this guy is definitely not. This is not a protagonist
5-year
ship
mission.
that has a mission every single week.
No, but the original TOS Enterprise had a 5-year mission. So you're saying 8 weeks. Basically, he's like a workhorse for the Federation. You know, solve this famine, do this vaccine, move this ambassador.
Every mission involved lots of individual missions as well.
I mean, once every 8 weeks is kind of a lot.
Oh, it took me a second with the former ex-Borg. Because, yeah, he was ex-Borg, and then he died and got a robot body, so now he's former ex-Borg.
So,
Bye, Liam.
he just declares that dinner's over. This is the most unceremonious welcome I've ever seen on a Starfleet ship. The wine glasses are untouched.
The reason the lights are so dim on this ship is because Liam constantly has a headache from dealing with these people.
La Serena.
Like, you know, by the way, if an admiral beams on board your ship, you're supposed to welcome him in the transporter room. You're not supposed to be like, show up to my dinner, and maybe or maybe not, I'll feed you.
I mean, Picard's retired, unfortunately.
All right, but
Also,
You know, the
whenever
hero
it's an evil admiral, it's either Riker or Worf meeting them in the transporter room. And
Yeah.
as far as Liam is concerned, Picard is an evil admiral.
Yeah.
True.
And this is a case of we've got the sets, we might as well use it still.
I mean, very much like Cisco in the
Speaking of Worf.
premiere episode.
Yep.
Picard was an evil captain for him.
Yeah, it was quite likely this was Worf before it was actually revealed.
Like, they're
Not
not talking
certain,
in
but-
one-word sentences because they're an intelligence officer. That's just Worf. That's just how he do. Also, Worf aged real fast. Klingons live to be like 150 or 200. Worf's only like 60, and he looks ancient.
I want to see your bat'leth moves when you're 60, Ryan.
I'm not a Klingon. I don't live to 150 or 200 years old. Klingons
Humans
from TOS were still active and hanging out with people in Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
True. Good point. They were still doing battles at like 200, but yeah.
When he was a Dahar master.
Yeah. They were still like, able to raid a camp like single-handedly. 3 people max, 4 people
Well,
max.
you say able to. They did all die.
I mean, they were this close to killing the albino. They did kill the albino. Mission accomplished,
Yeah, well,
Dax
Dax did.
Dax.
Yeah, that makes it very likely
no.
that it was Worf from that.
Dax didn't kill the albino. Dax distracted the albino, and then was it
Yeah.
Kang stabbed him in the back?
Yeah. It reminds you of that like Chuck Norris commercial where he's selling vitamins. He's like, "Yeah, I clear the farm, I do all that backbreaking work, and I'm like 78."
Well, that's just irresponsible, Chuck.
Yo, this bunk bed had me dying.
They're in the lieutenant's office. Lieutenant's quarters.
I mean, I suppose they should be grateful that they didn't get the ensign or cadet's bunk.
Just be glad they didn't get the lower deck style bunks where they all had to sleep in the hallway.
Yeah.
They got a whole room to themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that in lower decks, because it implies that they are just not treated equally, even though that.
I mean, they're
they're supposed to be.
replicators.
Oh, it's
different
past
too.
implication. There's a lot of things in the show where the ensigns are treated
Yeah.
like they don't even get access to good food in their replicators.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
And they show here, you don't even get to pick your preferred name or pronoun. Because he keeps calling her Hanson.
I always find it interesting when subtitles use 2 words for all right. It has never been 2 words in my entire life in normal usage.
You're correct.
I think 2 words is technically correct, isn't it?
It is technically correct. However, 1 word has been used my entire life, which makes it as correct as 2 words.
Yeah.
When
No
it comes
humans
to-
use it as 2 words.
Yeah.
Right. I like this line. You and Janeway convinced me to join Starfleet.
No, they didn't. He gave her a field commission. He forced her into Starfleet. We saw that 30 minutes ago.
Was 7 on the bridge of the ship at the start of the season? Yes, I think she was.
She takes them to the bridge when they first arrive. Admiral on the bridge, captain on the bridge.
Bridge on the captain.
Honestly, you know what? I kind of have to commend the show because if they had just like taken command of the ship and taken it as normal, it would have been like a little bit too lame to think that a retired admiral can just take command of a ship without any.
Seven, this is a big crime.
Yeah, Seven's the one who
you just
hoodwinks
mutinied.
her own.
Yeah,
She hoodwinks her
effectively.
own commanding officer. By the way, so funny story, right? On a real Navy ship, this like commander, second in command, she'd installed a Starlink internet, and they called it fax machine on the router, so nobody would figure out that like it's that it's not a printer. And so she'd lied to her captain 4 or 5 times until finally another attendant figured out that like, hey, look, what's this on the deck? And it's not an authorized fixture. But yeah, so the commander can very much mislead the commanding officer if he or she wanted to. I love
Seven,
this.
you are so fired.
He looks out the window and he's mad.
I don't know. They didn't show up to breakfast this morning.
I
They're
don't
probably
know,
just
sir.
sleeping. I don't know, sir. That's how you get confined to quarters.
But then I can read off my engineering manuals. Thank you, sir.
And what a nerd.
That was a good line, by the way. The word loyalty is not a word, but
But that's
she
how
did
English
just
works. You just verb the nouns.
Yeah.
So she did just loyalty her way out of a promising career.
No, Rafa, you definitely just like smashed your fingers and got severe lacerations from the glass. You can't do that. I don't think there are any species that I know of that are red.
Right.
Empire Union Day? What's Empire Union Day?
I think it's when the Cardassian Empire and the Cardassian Union and the Klingon Empire merged. I think.
Oh, we solved the red lady thing in episode 1. I thought that took longer. Nope, we're already there. We did it. Rachel Garrett.
Yeah, but looking at her, you don't remember even who Rachel Garrett was.
Hang on, Rachel Garrett. That's another reference because Rachel Garrett is from TNG. Right. Captain of the Enterprise C. Died from a piece of shrapnel.
He died at the Kittomere outpost defending it from.
She died in an alternate universe when Klingon ships attacked the Enterprise C before it could enter the temporal rift.
Which is where Worf's parents were killed, so we wouldn't have gotten that character on a Federation starship if it wasn't for Rachel Garrett's sacrifice. And wasn't there an Enterprise D officer, famous actor, who like decides to join the ship with her? Real handsome hunk?
No, I don't think that happened.
Okay, sorry. No, so Tasha goes to join the dude who's on the Enterprise C. Sorry, yes. That's why I confused that. Okay. He's a famous actor, right?
I only know him from that.
You know who I'm confusing?
Richard Castillo.
Yeah. I'm confusing him with the later Seven has a fling with somebody on Voyager. So he looks like he's right out of Voyager too.
Yes.
Look at all this money he's still making from a 30-year-old TV show. Of course he's
Do you like
enjoying
Voyager?
it.
I
Physically?
mean, Frakes is just enjoying Star Trek in general. He's making so many episodes.
I saw new paralysis are the only words I saw before it cut away. What happened? What happened to Beverly?
I think her being shot, she was passed out.
Dang, that's a really big shuttle relative to the ship. How big is
No, the
this
ship's
ship?
really small. It's a Fenris Ranger ship, so it's kind of small. But the shuttle was big because even compared to the Titan, it was like a pretty big.
Are you still playing Ink Spots, Beverly? I don't remember how this scene goes. I would guess that Beverly nearly shoots them. Oh god, he
We
has the
meet.
terrible flashlight again. No, Riker. That's
Yeah,
so
that's the
bad.
one, the French police officer. Yeah. No, that's a 4-1. That's from Voyager. Yeah,
It's still terrible ergonomics. What?
it's very bad. It's very bad.
Everybody in Starfleet should have an issued headlamp.
Yeah.
It's also doing the classic TV movie thing where it only illuminates like a 1 foot circle on the far wall.
Mm.
And that flickering for a moment.
Yeah. The only time I remember Beverly ever killing anyone before this is the Space Ghost. So yeah, killing's pretty new to her, as far as they're concerned.
It is interesting that they have 4 flashlights which have less reach than one, or less range than one. Feasibility.
Have the who would be in charge of that? Directors?
Yeah, probably.
Prom masters? Have the directors of this show ever seen modern flashlight technology? You can light up a whole bloody forest.
Yeah.
Picard, shoot him!
I had no idea at this
Picard,
point that
if
was
you...
his.
Well, you're not supposed to. Picard, if you kill him now, you solve the whole season. The threat is over.
True.
Well, that was rude, Riker.
Yeah, but then we wouldn't get the character development.
I'm her son.
Named, of course, after Beverly's dead husband.
Yep.
Okay, so even if that's her kid, I didn't imagine that's gonna be Jean-Luc's kid. Come on. Why would Jean-Luc have a kid? No, they've been on you for a couple of days, Jack.
Every
Remember he
time
says,
they
like,
had
"Oh,"
different faces, you say.
right?
Hmm.
Yeah, Klingons and
Did he retract the blast doors? Or is that a hack? Because I feel like he shouldn't do that.
Yeah. The Shrike.
Ooh. Very bird-like.
Very much inspired by the Narada.
I was gonna say it reminds me of the scimitar from Nemesis. Because
Scimitar, yeah, sorry, that's the
It
one I was
also has
thinking
a Federation-style deflector dish, but yellow.
of. Mm.
it looks like a Ferengi Marauder. If you
Oh,
just, like,
that's some classic sci-fi trope, the bois that it makes. All right, what are we
Yes,
looking
so
for in these
I
end
love this
credits?
theme. It shows a lot about what's coming up in the show.
oh,
There's
Well,
the
there's Shrike. Yep.
they reused the First Contact theme, so -2 points for no
Gryffindor.
originality.
No, it's a different version of the theme.
It's still the same song.
It's the same, but thank you for pointing that out because I didn't know that.
That's the cloaking device.
Ah, the waveform bike pass conduit. Yes, of
Ah.
course. The secondary waveform
wonder.
accelerator.
I should have figured that out.
DNA talking about what's going on with stuff later on.
Starfleet
We are
had-
going to take
forward.
shelter in a hologram
That's
of 10
the
forward.
that is the tune that later scenes later on.
Ah.
That's the map of Data's brain.
Ah.
That's a console.
That's
That's the
dish
Titan.
There's a
that-
Titan.
I think that was the secret base. You know, the Section 31 base.
That's of course. Based up.
NCC
Oh, Space Knight.
52135. What is that? 52135.
Fleet Museum with the ships that are at the Fleet Museum.
And
Okay, it looks
Space
like
Dock has like
that's
5 orbital platforms. I was gonna look it up too. Thank you, Ryan.
And that tells us that's a line later on in the show.
Do not seek blame. Do not
Um,
seek anger. Did it say?
I forget what that one is. And also we just have a normal condition.
That is the frequency that she's broadcasting from Jupiter. The Borg Queen.
Oh yeah, they basically give you the plot of the show
Yeah,
in it.
Spoilers. My goodness.
and it says for Annie. That's the Borg Queen who died in the last season.
So, this
Rest in
I
peace.
wanted to stop on. Not the dog. Wait for it to catch up. There we go. Okay. Starfleet officer performance evaluation. Reporting officer Captain Liam Shaw. Name and rank commander blanked out.
Yeah.
It's clearly
it's
Annika
blanked out, right?
Hansen. But why is it blanked out?
Because it is actually 7 of 9.
7 of
Maybe,
9.
I don't know. He does call
Wait.
her 7 of 9 in the performance evaluation later.
Planet of origin. No, it
Yeah,
cuts
that's
away.
after he dies, by the way. But yeah.
I think we know. Wait, do we know she's from Earth? Whatever, it doesn't matter. All right, so that was the start of season 3. Now,
Nice
what are the
meeting you,
next
Fizik.
episodes?
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Jack.
So next week
See you
is Disengage, which is, let me just scroll through real quick. Oh, we meet the murder lady,
Vadim.
Vadik.
Okay. She's
17
General Chang's daughter.
seconds.
Yep. Christopher Plummer's
Christopher
daughter.
Plummer's daughter is Amanda Plummer.
And she chews the scenery just as much as her father.
And get ready for the cackle. And the cigar.
And
smoking.
then last episode, I don't know what else happens, but it's going to be the episode where he yells at Picard about being the cutest.
Mm. All right, till next week.
All right. Yep, that's next week.
Loved it, guys. Thank you.
Goodbye. Go away.
Have a good one.
See you next week. Take care.